and welcome back to my channel. Guys, what a year it's been, and it's only February. So obviously I didn't do any vlogs over Christmas because me and Tony and Shawnee hasn't, Jack, Shannon, Rebecca have all had COVID, which is an absolute nightmare. We were fine, obviously we were fine. I couldn't get out of bed for like 8 days. One sec guys, I'm trying to concentrate. So I couldn't get out of bed for 8 days. Horrendous. Omicron, I think they're lying about it. I'll tell you why. Because on Boxing Day, my dad and my mum and my brother all tested positive. Now, my mum and dad have both had the vaccines and the boosters. So, you know, my dad is the type of person that if he's not well, he'll just sit in the chair and get on with it. That's what my dad does. But after about 4 days in, I was talking to him and he said he was going to stay in bed for a little bit because he was cold. And that's what Tony said. He was really cold. So I was a little bit concerned because when my dad's sick, he just gets on with it. So when he told me he was going to bed, I got a little bit worried. But on the 3rd of January, I went down. He had COVID, I didn't care. I just wanted to make sure they were okay. So I was taking them like cough medicine, flu stuff, and just to make them feel better. So on the Monday, the 3rd, I went down and my dad wasn't good at all. So I told him I was taking him to hospital. Now, if you know my dad, you know he is terrified of COVID. He didn't go out for 2 years, guys. He was literally in the house for 2 years. We weren't allowed in their house. That's how bad he is with COVID. He's terrified of it. So because he's had his vaccines and his booster, he felt a little bit more confident and he went out. Not like going out drinking or going out everywhere. When he need like Christmas presents, when he needed to go somewhere, like I took him to a jewellery shop to get my mum a necklace and earrings. We went into a card shop. I took him into a card shop. My brother took him to JD Sports, and he went to the pub with my brother on Christmas Day. There was a woman in there, he said, coughing her head off everywhere, all over the pub. It doesn't matter where he's got it anyway. So that's what I mean. He's so scared of COVID, he's terrified of it. So he literally didn't go out. But on the 3rd, I went down to see him, and he just didn't look right. His face was grey, his eyes were sunken, and he was drinking because I was taking bottles of water down to him, and like I was even taking fruit down, like oranges and stuff, just so he could get some freshness in his mouth and stuff. But yeah, on the Monday when I went down on the 3rd of Jan, I said to him, like, come on, let's go to hospital. And he was like, no, Kaz, I'm not going. And he didn't look well. He wasn't gasping for breath or nothing. He seemed okay-ish, but I knew he needed to go to hospital. By the time he got dressed and stuff, he said he agreed to come with me because Jack came with me. Now, if you watch me on Instagram, you'll know Jack was really poorly as well. In the end of October, November, because he went to the walk-in and he said he had pleurisy, and that pleurisy needed antibiotics, and the walk-in didn't give him antibiotics, so the pleurisy turned into pneumonia, and the pneumonia turned into a collapsed lung. So he was in hospital, and he was that bad that critical care were on standby for him. So we got 2 ambulances out for Jack, and they wouldn't take him to hospital. They said, no, you've got pleurisy, the hospital can't do nothing for you. But yeah. Anyway, my dad stood up. My dad stood up when he was getting dressed, when I was taking him to hospital. Because Jack came down with me, that's what I was getting to. Jack came down to my mum's with me and he said to me dad, Grandad, you seen how bad I was with my lungs? Just go. And he went, okay, son. And he did. He got dressed. I put his coat on him. And my dad's a big man. I put his coat on him. And he said to me, Kaz, I need to sit down for a minute. And he sat down. Guys, I'm not kidding. His lips were just blue. And I instantly thought, crap, he ain't good. He's not good at all. So, one sec guys, it can't be at me and I need to reverse and I can't multitask. But yeah, by the time he'd got dressed and stuff, he literally was blue. His lips were blue. So I said to him, right, you need an ambulance. So we got an ambulance for him. And when the ambulance came and took us sats, his oxygen levels were 63. 63. They should be 100. So this is why he was delirious. Guys, 1 minute. So yeah, by the time they got me dad into the ambulance and stuff, his sats dropped to 61 and they blue lighted him to hospital. I rang up the hospital to see what was happening and they told us he was in Majors. So we rang Majors and then after about an hour, Majors put me through to Resource. After a couple of hours there, Resource put me in touch with critical care because that's where he was, which was horrendous. 1 minute, guys. Sorry, so right, where was I up to? Yeah, so I spoke to critical care and they said they were aware of me dad. And if he was to get any worse, that's where he'd go. So when I rang Resource, because that's where he was, he said, okay, we'll just put you through. And then when they answered, he said, hi, critical care. Well, you can imagine. He ended up getting put on a mask just round there. It was a CPAP mask to help him. And I think after about the third day, he had a full mask, CPAP on. And then on the 8th of January, they unfortunately had to put him to sleep and put him on a ventilator, which honestly has traumatised me so much. I'm not even lying. It's like literally traumatised me. The doctor told me and my mum we had to go up so she could explain to us what was going on. She said his lungs have been completely destroyed with COVID. Luckily, it was only in his lungs. None of his other organs have been affected by it, which is absolutely incredible. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so we were talking to the doctor and my mum, you know, my mum needs to know these things, and my mum, I wouldn't ask because I'm not brave enough, but my mum did say to her, could we lose him? And I'll never ever forget that lady's face. She kind of tilted her head to the side and went, yeah. So she said he's got a 50-50 chance of surviving. So for almost 4 weeks, he was on a ventilator. They proned him, which means they put him on a stomach, and on the first day he was on a stomach, and they allowed me and my mum to go in and see him because you're only allowed to go in to see them when it's end of life. So obviously it wasn't good for him, and it was the worst sight I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, to see my dad, he never lies on a stomach anyway, and to see him lying on a stomach and his face in like a neck and all down the side of his face was just horrendous. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, I really wouldn't. Just horrendous. But then a week today, wasn't it? A week today for Jackie, a week ago today, but before last Saturday he was static, which means he wasn't getting any better and he wasn't deteriorating, so that's not good. His lungs hadn't prepared at all. He was still really bad. So last Tuesday, I think it was, I went down. I said to my mum, I'm going to the hospital because no doctors are ringing us, no one's explaining to us what's going on. We're only getting like updates off the nurses when we ring, but they're only telling us what we're asking them. I wanted to know, was his lung function getting any better, or, you know, obviously stuff like that. They were just telling us what his ventilator percentage was and what his sats were. There's more. We needed to know more. We needed to know, was he still in danger? And so I said to my mum, I'm going to ring and get a doctor to ring me back. But we waited from, say, 11 in the morning, and it was now 6 o'clock in the night. And I said to my mum, no, I'm going up. I need to speak to a doctor. So we did. That's what we done. And the doctor said to us, up until yesterday, which was last week, they had no hope for him, because he was just static the whole time. That was just the hardest thing to hear, because the nurses are telling us, you know, the doctors are pleased with him, the vent's getting turned down. He was off his ventilator for 24 hours at one point. He was breathing on his own for 24 hours. And when I said that to the doctor, he went, no, let me stop you. He said he's never breathed on his own. The whole time he's been on the ventilator, he's never, ever breathed on his own. So it was a shock. But then a week ago today, every time they tried to take him off sedation, he was fighting the vent, which wasn't good. He was getting agitated and it wasn't good for him. So they thought if they put a trachea in, it might help him. So they did. And wow, what a difference. What an absolute difference. He's on no sedation now, so he's awake. I actually got it. He wanted his phone. He told the nurse to tell us he wanted his phone ringing in. So we took his phone into him yesterday, and I finally got to see him, because I asked the nurse, could I just nip in real quick and see him? And I did. I went in, holding his hand, but he was asleep. He didn't know I was there. And then last night the nurse rang me at 8:30. They've only got my number because, I don't know why, but the hospital have got my number, and the nurse rang me at 8:30 last night, and she said, hi, I'm Alma from critical care in Aintree Hospital. And I literally panicked, because I thought he was really tired yesterday. He was asleep all day, and I was wondering if there's something wrong with him. So when she rang me, I really actually thought there was something wrong with him. And she said, oh, everything's fine. She said, I've got your dad here. He wants to know, can you FaceTime? Honestly, I've never felt joy like it. I felt like I'd won the lottery. It was amazing. So FaceTimed him, and I was blowing kisses to him, and he was blowing kisses back to me. He was blowing kisses from his trachea. But then doing that, I asked him to smile, and he smiled. And then after a little while, I said to him, do you want me to ring Mum and tell Mum to ring you? And he went, honestly, and then he started crying. He's been awake now since Saturday. But I said to all my family, I'll know when my dad's back, because as soon as my dad sees us, he'll cry. And he hasn't cried yet. Up until yesterday, he hadn't cried. So I knew he weren't back. But yesterday, a week today, he hadn't cried. And last night when I FaceTimed him, he cried. He was upset. Not that I want to see him upset, but it was nice to see him cry, because I know he's back. So yeah, he's awake. He's doing good. But he's got the Omicron strain, guys. That's the Omicron one he's got. He's had 2 vaccines and the booster. But yeah, he could have died. So what's all this about the Omicron not affecting people? You've got an 85% chance of not going to hospital. The doctor actually did say to me and my mum, he's the only one in Liverpool who's had 3 vaccines and he's been this close to death. He's the only one in Liverpool. Like, how unlucky is that? Even when they were proning and putting him on his stomach, it wasn't working for him. It didn't work. It didn't help him, which is really scary, because, you know, that's the treatment, and it didn't work. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you a little update on where we are in life and stuff, because I haven't done a vlog in ages. Also, if you go and subscribe to, is it Nanny and Jacob, or Jacob and Nanny? I think it's Jacob and Nanny. I'll put his little page here. It's our Jacob, my grandson, who's 7. So if you go over and subscribe to him, we both Jacob and Nanny. I'll put his name there. Go and give him a little subscribe. He's so funny. He's hilarious. He loves doing vlogs. And the sad thing is, my dad loves watching his vlogs. He's always saying, when are you doing a vlog? But obviously, now we're doing one, so he'll get a notification on his tablet when he comes home so we can watch them all. But yeah, it's been scary, but you know, we've had some negative Nellies telling us, you know, he's not going to make it. Didn't have hope for him. But he's awake. He's awake, he's fine, he's doing good. He's now doing 24 hours off the vent and just surviving now on 30% oxygen. How incredible is that? After being told 5 weeks ago he was going to die. But yeah, he smashed it. So I hope yous are all okay. I hope yous have all had an amazing Christmas. And I wish yous all nothing but love and joy for 2022. Ours is a write-off right away, right, already. Completely wrote off. My mum's not well now either. So I've been staying with my mum. Obviously, I don't want to leave her on her own at such a horrendous time. So I've been staying with my mum. But yeah, that's where we're up to. So no, my mum hasn't got COVID. She's had tests done and stuff. She hasn't got COVID. Thank God. But she did have COVID at the same time as my dad. But she's all right now. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on how he is. He's doing awesome. So I'll pop a little picture in. Not of him in hospital, obviously, because it's not nice. And I'll show you a picture of my little hero. Actually, I've done a vlog on Christmas Day, but I didn't finish it. And my dad's on it. So I'll pop that in. And like the next day, tested positive for COVID. Like the difference 24 hours can make. It's unreal. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and all that. I forgot what I say now. But yeah, all that. I'll put a link here for Jacob's channel. Go give him a follow. And I hope you all have an amazing new year. See you later. So we've had a little drink with my dad and my mum, so we're literally going to be leaving now. So
Happy Christmas. Good night. Say hello.
hello. We're going to get your video camera out, aren't we, when we get home? He's eating chocolate. But it's Christmas and you're allowed, aren't you? It's mad because I had COVID, I wasn't allowed to see my mum and dad for like 10 days, so it's nice. It's nice to be here for Christmas Day, which is really good.
Christmas Day.
Because I didn't think I'd actually be able to come. Jacob Ford. Anyway, I'll catch you.
See you later.
Catch us when we're at home.